They weren't just trying to escape prison, they brought a whole armed gang with them. In 2013, 2 men were being driven in a prison van through Salford, Greater Manchester, when the convoy was suddenly ambushed by masked men with a shotgun, axe and sledgehammer. What followed was one of the boldest prison breaks the UK has seen in years. And it didn't just involve career criminals, it included a getaway car, balaclavas, a fake firearms team, and even a 64-year-old grandmother. Before we get into the full story, don't forget to subscribe for more real UK crime cases just like this. Let's break it down. It was April 30th, 2013. 2 inmates, Stevie McMullen, 31, and Ryan McDonald, 20, were being transported from HMP Altcourse, a prison in Liverpool, to Manchester Crown Court. But they never made it to the courtroom. As their prison van travelled through Salford, a dark-coloured Saab suddenly rammed the vehicle on Regent Road. Inside the Saab were 4 men, all armed and masked up. 3 of them got out, dressed in black, wearing balaclavas and carrying serious weapons, a double-barreled shotgun, an axe and a sledgehammer. They stormed the prison van and freed both McMullen and McDonald on the spot. Within seconds, 5 men, including the 2 escapees, were seen jumping into the Saab and speeding off toward the M602 roundabout. They later abandoned the car and split up. Some ran toward Phoebe Street in the Ordsall estate, while 2 others made off on a motorbike, which was later found dumped. The prisoners were officially on the run, but it didn't take long for the net to close in. McMullen was caught 5 days later on May 5th in Galgate, Lancashire, when police pulled over a vehicle and found him inside. McDonald was found 5 days after that, hiding in a house in Salford during a raid. But the bigger story was the investigation that followed. Over time, 13 people were convicted in connection with the escape plot, including getaway drivers, facilitators, and even family members. Let's run through the key players. Nathan Chapman, 25, from Pendleton, was sentenced to 10 years for helping plan the escape and possessing an imitation firearm. Anthony Smith, 21, of no fixed address, also got 10 years. Matthew McGivern, 32, from Agecroft, was hit with 13 years for his role and a separate drug charge. Meanwhile, McMullen himself received 25 years in total, covering 14 years for conspiracy to rob, 10 years for conspiracy to kidnap, and 4 years for conspiracy to commit arson. Ryan McDonald received 21 years, which included new sentences for conspiracy to escape custody and conspiracy to possess a firearm, added on top of the time he was already serving. And then there were the lesser-known players. Paul Taylor, caught in Benidorm, extradited and sentenced to 5 years and 4 months. Carla Withers, 29, jailed for 4.5 years for conspiracy and firearms offences. Stephen Wilson and Michael Morrison, both 18, were sentenced to 5.5 years and 40 months respectively in youth offender institutions. Marcus Hill and Michael Crossley, drivers who helped McMullen while he was on the run, got 28 and 16 months. Mavis Chapman, 64 years old, yes, a grandmother, jailed for 15 months for perverting the course of justice. Ainsley MacDonald, sentenced to 15 months for encouraging or assisting the crime. Police believe the entire operation was made possible through illegally smuggled phones. One source suggested that one of the escapees likely had access to a high-value phone inside prison and used it to text the gang about which van to target that morning. It raises serious questions about how inmates are able to communicate from inside, and how organised some of these escape attempts really are. This wasn't a spontaneous getaway, it was a planned mission with getaway routes, backup vehicles, and weapons ready. Despite their dramatic escape, the operation ultimately failed. All of the men involved were eventually caught and sentenced, but the case is still remembered as one of the most organised escape attempts in recent UK history. Let me know in the comments. What do you think was the biggest mistake they made? And if you're into stories like this, subscribe to the channel. I've got more wild UK cases coming soon.